This is Ayala Silva and my persuasive speech on Montessori being the path forward. This is my lovely audience. There you go, and handing off the camera. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for coming to listen to my persuasive speech on why Montessori is the path forward. I'll get right into it. What do Jeff Bezos, Beyonce, and the founders of Google all have in common? Yes, they're wildly successful, but they also began their educational journey in a Montessori classroom. What if they weren't given the opportunity to think, create, and explore? Would they still have become the successful innovators that we admire today? Probably not. Now consider a child in your life, your own, a relative, a student, or maybe a neighbor. What if they would be given that same opportunity? A classroom where curiosity drives learning and strengths are nurtured, not standardized. That's the power of Montessori. Even if you're not a parent, children's education impacts us all, shaping our workforce, our society, and our economy. Yet our current education system struggles to prepare children for the complexities of today's world. Montessori education is a proven method that prepares children not only for academic success, but for a life of meaning, resilience, and leadership, skills desperately needed in our world ahead. This issue is deeply personal to me, not because I attended a Montessori preschool, but because I am a parent wondering if I'm doing enough to prepare my child for the world ahead. I want my child to thrive, to be curious, to be independent and resilient, all skills necessary to succeed in an uncertain future. Seeing Montessori's impact firsthand, I believe it unlocks a child's potential in ways traditional education just can't. And I'm not alone in my belief. Research shows that Montessori students excel in environments where they're allowed to learn and grow at their own pace. So today we'll examine how the traditional education system falls short in preparing children for modern challenges. We'll then examine how Montessori, the key aspects of Montessori method, and how it cultivates independent thinking, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. We'll then go over its long-term impact and why it is a valuable investment in children's future. Yet to understand Montessori's impact, we first need to take a look at what it is challenging. An outdated system that still shapes most of children's lives today. The traditional education system was designed during the Industrial Revolution, creating obedient workers, not independent thinkers. That's not built for today's world, where innovation, collaboration, and adaptability are key, but the system hasn't updated. Standardized tests and rigid curriculums still dominate, despite evidence showing they don't assess key areas such as creativity or problem solving. The American Psychological Association notes that these tests measure short-term recall, missing critical areas such as emotional intelligence. And a report in The Atlantic shows that US students spend nearly 20% of their school year preparing for tests. That's time taken away from hands-on learning, critical thinking, and exploration, all needed to foster curiosity. And according to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, over 90% of employers prioritize skills such as problem solving and critical thinking. But the system isn't built to foster these skills. Even creativity, once a top workplace priority, often gets sidelined in a standardized environment. Take my friend's son, Liam, as an example. He's so bright and inquisitive, yet in his public school, he was labeled unfocused by his teachers. He struggled to sit still and scored poorly on tests. Yet once he transferred to a Montessori school, he began to flourish. Being able to explore freely what he's interested in gave him the confidence to succeed. It's not that he was behind before. It was that he needed a place that valued how he learns best. Now consider the famous animal school metaphor, where various animals are all asked to perform the same task, to climb a tree. The monkey succeeds effortlessly. The bird just flies up. The elephant stomps on the ground. The seal wants to dive. The fish flops on the floor. And the dog just barks at the tree. Each animal has its own strength, but they're all judged based off of one test, most fail. Not because they lack the potential, but because the system fails to recognize it. And this is what we are doing to our children. Judge them based off of one test, ignoring their unique abilities and passions. Yet true learning takes time and space to explore, and our current system stifles that. So how does Montessori offer a solution? Montessori education is a child-centered approach based on developmental psychology that allows children to learn at their own pace, driven by their natural curiosity. It focuses on developing the whole child while promoting independence and a love for learning. Research such as Angeline Lillard's 2023 study shows that Montessori students outperform their peers and even excel in areas such as reading comprehension, math, long-term retention, and even show higher emotional development. Montessori classrooms offer freedom within limits. Children are able to choose their own work within a structured environment, teaching them autonomy and independence. Teachers act as guides, encouraging exploration, questioning, and even independent problem solving. Learning is hands-on in a Montessori classroom. Children progress from concrete to abstract concepts by manipulating materials physically. Instead of just memorizing facts, children engage, explore, and experiment, all fostering deep thinking over just short-term recall. And mixed-age classrooms allow the younger children to learn from their older peers, while the older children learn leadership skills. These environments foster collaboration and compassion instead of competition, with grace and courtesy lessons encouraging respectful interactions so desperately needed for today's world. In certain classrooms, students may explore subjects such as biomes by creating dioramas, written reports, and presentations, integrating subjects like art, science, and public speaking. I've seen many children thrive in a Montessori classroom, including my own, where he's able to explore freely the things that he's truly interested in, giving him the confidence that he needs and building a strong sense of community. My child is only 4, but Montessori isn't just for the early years. It builds a foundation that benefits children for life. Children raised in Montessori classrooms demonstrate higher emotional intelligence and resilience. They're used to navigating conflict respectfully, work collaboratively, and manage their own time and learning. Research from the American Journal of Education shows that Montessori students tend to be more intrinsically motivated and self-regulated, all traits linked to long-term academic and professional success. They're more adaptable too. The ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn is critical in today's world, and Montessori fosters this by teaching children how to think, not what to think. A former Montessori student I know is now a trained Montessori middle and high school teacher. She says that her early experiences gave her the confidence she needed to follow her interests and build a deep sense of purpose, something she's now teaching her own students. It's a full circle moment. Montessori inspired her, and now she's passing that on. By promoting independence, critical thinking, and emotional awareness, Montessori doesn't just prepare students for the next tests, it prepares them to lead, to create, and to contribute meaningfully to their communities. In conclusion, the traditional education system is outdated and misaligned for today's world, and Montessori offers a proven alternative. This is evident not only through research, but through the lives of successful innovators, artists, and leaders who all began their journey in a Montessori classroom. What if the next generation of leaders is sitting in your home or in your classroom? Dr. Maria Montessori said, "Free the child's potential and you will transform him into the world." To transform the world, we first need to transform how we educate our children. Because investing in an education that honors the whole child, we're investing in a better future, one thoughtful, curious, and compassionate leader at a time. Thank you so much.